Today's adventure, it's all about the top 10 things that we like about Sturgis. So stay tuned and see what they are.
Woohoo!
Hi, my name's Bob.
And I'm Tam.
And we are
Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventures.
So today we're going to be looking at the top 10 things that we like about Sturgis this year. You know, this could go on for any year for Sturgis. You know, we've been there about 6 times. Last year we were there almost 45 days we were there in Sturgis. So we've seen a lot at the beginning, seen a lot going on in the action in the middle, and we also seen a lot at the very end. Well, actually, a little bit at the end. So let's go through the top 10 list and see if any of these top 10 could be some of yours, or if you have some that you think are different from ours, put it down here in the comments. Let us know, because that's what's important. Getting a good conversation with you guys, find out what's going on, what your thoughts are, so we can get you the information that you want to see and hear.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell for notifications.
All right, let's go into our top 10 and see what they are. Number one of the unique things about there that we've seen this year that we never knew before, they have thousands and thousands and thousands of miles of UTV, ATV trails out there. There's even a bunch of places, what was it, in Hill City? They actually rented the ones so you could go on and ride. They also had some down in Custer, I think, too. There's several places there. You could rent them and go out there. You know, if you're out there and you're getting tired of riding the motorcycle, go out on these. A lot of them are actually just rock roads. They're pretty wide. So it's not like going off into the boonies or out in a bunch of trees. But I mean, some of the trails probably take you way out. We heard one of them. What's that guy said the real tall one was?
I think it was called Custard's Peak or something, but it was actually in Sturgis.
So that was kind of neat. So it might be something to think about. So that's kind of one of our things that we thought about as the number one thing, is that you could go out there and do something other than just riding motorcycles. You could do some UTV and ATV riding too.
And if you rent those, the cool thing that we looked at in Custard, they actually give you a iPad or some sort of tablet, and so you don't get lost. They call it a breadcrumb, I guess. It leaves a yellow trail of every place you've been. So if you get somewhere and think, oh, I don't know where I'm at, you just follow that yellow trail back and it'll take you back to where you came from.
And there's like groups you could go out in too. They would even plan rides if you wanted to go out, like let's say, hey, you really had never done that before. You wanted to go out with some other people. They'd help set up a thing for you to ride with other people in a group. Or if you had your own group, do your own thing.
Yeah, you could all rent one. The second thing was checking out all the bikes. There's just so many cool bikes there. It doesn't matter what kind of bike you ride. There's the rat rods that they call them, that people just made up. They make them on their own, different parts, and they've got cool bikes that are painted up, low riders, choppers, you name it. If you can go up and down Main Street, you can go out to full throttle, just driving around in the hills, anywhere, you can see the coolest bikes. And that's one of the neat things that Sturgis has to offer, because there's so many people, so many different bikes, all different brands, all different makes and models. It's really cool.
So number 3 for this year was the weather. That's for this year. We've never had a year that the weather was so perfect. Actually, just during the rally. Now, before the rally, we got wet a couple days, got some hail, but actual days through the rally, you couldn't have asked for better weather. Pretty much during the days, it was in the 80s. You had the nights that were down in the 60s, so it was really nice. You could still ride around. You know, we had a day or two there that got up into the 90s, which wasn't too bad. But you know, we didn't get rained on, we didn't get hailed on during the rally. Typically in Sturgis, it rains every day between 3 and 4 o'clock. This year during the rally, not at all.
Number 4 is there's lots of bars that you can go. So you should never go thirsty. If you're looking for any kind of drink, there's bars on every corner, all the different cities. There's music, all kinds of music. There's bands that they've got coming in, local bands. They've got one-man bands, DJs. It's just a great place to go to meet up with people, to get a drink, have a bite to eat, and listen to music.
So speaking of those bars, that's something that we found out this year, which we're going to find a lot more next year when we go out there. There is so many bars that people don't even know about. You know, we pretty much found probably 6 or 7 that we had never walked through the front door. And there's some really cool bars out there. You know, go back through our videos and check them out, of the bars and some of the places that we rode to. You almost got to kind of watch all the videos to see all the different ones, because it depended on that ride where we stopped at. But it was really neat, and I know there's a lot of new ones that, actually not new ones, there's old ones that we didn't make it to this year that some of you subscribers have told us to check out. We got a really neat one. We're going to make it down into the dungeon next year, down there on Main Street. Number 5 is kind of one of the neatest things that I think I've always liked about Sturgis over any other rally is the vendors. You know, there's more vendors there than you could ever dream of. You know, everybody's wants, you know, the t-shirts and all that. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the vendors that sell stuff that you wouldn't think of it. You know, if there's anything you're thinking for your bike or even things you're not thinking for your bike, they're selling it there in Sturgis. We touched on a few. You know, we do our friend Chubby Cups. We've known him for a long time. You know, there's a guy that if you've got a bike, you just tell him what you got. He knows exactly what holder, what will fit on your bike, perfect fit. You know, he's a great guy. We had a whole lot of people. We found the silencers, the guy that's selling silencers. You know, it's not so much for bikes, but it's like, hey, you know, she thought they were only for gangsters.
But Hitman only got silencers. I didn't know you could buy them.
So I didn't know they were actually legal in most states. So it was really interesting to find that. There was another guy that was selling clutch pack that you could make into an automatic on your bike, which was kind of a neat thing. And there's a lot of neat ones like that. We probably didn't even hit them all. You know, checking out these vendors. You know, we even had they even had the circus come to town. Well, it's carnival, I guess it was. Looked like a circus, but it was a carnival. You know, like something different. You know, I don't know how many people went up in the Ferris wheel. We probably should have done it to get a picture, but hey, what the heck. We had the drone shots, but I didn't have anything at night. So you might look at that. Hey, if you got on that Ferris wheel and you rode around, got any pictures, hey, link them down there. Go to our Facebook page, Bob and Tam's Excellent Adventure, and post some of those pictures on there. That'd be great.
Share it with all of us.
Yeah. And if anybody else that didn't get a chance to ride on it. You know, if you've seen anything else unique there, let us know in those vendors.
Number 6 is all the different little towns out there that you can ride around to. I don't know how many. We rode to the Badlands, we rode to Custer's, we rode to Deadwood, Hill City, Keystone, Spearfish, Hewlett, Stoneville, all those places. We went all over. But it's kind of neat that all that is kind of so close and they all participate in the rally. All of those little towns. They all have something going on. Like I said, they've got the bars, they've got the music, they've got the vendors at all those little towns too. And it gives you something to do. You're out there to ride your bike, and ride your bike to some of those little towns and see all the stuff they have to offer. Some great places to eat too.
You've got the train that goes from Hill City to Keystone. Goes back and forth. You can get off at either end and go back and forth, which is kind of neat. You know, you got Custer's there. It's got a lot of history and stuff in it. You know, Deadwood. Everybody goes to Deadwood. You know, they got the reenactment in the street. They have the shootout. They got the stagecoach ride. They got a whole bunch of neat stuff there in Deadwood to check out. You know, all these little towns kind of have their special. Hewlett. We actually spent more time in Hewlett this year than we probably have ever spent. Even though we had all of our time up. You know, we got to meet
Tom and Bob and Dean.
Yep. Those guys are really great. They got the Ponderosa, and Bob's has got the
gallery
there at the end of town. You know, if you didn't get a chance to check that out, watch the video on Hewlett.
You should have put the little excerpt of Dean in here. Did you ever put him on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he don't talk much. And go back. Maybe I'll put a link down here or up here that will take you to that video if I can find it. And so it's really neat. But I mean, to be able to go to some of those towns and check them out and find the history. You know, by talking to them in Hewlett, we found out how the ham jam that works on Wednesday, how that all came about and how it started. And it goes way back. It goes all the way back to, you know, when Sturgis first started. So, you know, there's some really neat things that are happening in all these little towns. So if you didn't get a chance, check out every one of those little towns. And if you found one of those little towns that we didn't make it to, which we never made it to Sundance, that was on my list. We didn't make it. This year, I think it was 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock they were doing the burnouts. It was just too late to ride all the way back.
I think we had something else to do that night too.
Yeah, I think
we wanted to go to Hot Springs, and we never made it all the way down there either. So
if you made it to any of those kind of places, let us know what you seen, what you happened. If you got any pictures of Sundance, same thing. Put it there on our Facebook page. Post it there so we can see some of the stuff that was going on the burnout night.
What we missed.
Yeah, what we missed. Next thing we got is what's going on is most of the Black Hills is in national parks. You know, you're constantly going in and out of town. Our very last video that we did, the highlights of part 2, that actually shows that sign at the beginning and at the end that you're going through all that. You know, Custer's is in a national park. The Badlands is in a national park. You know, you can't believe how in that small area, how much of that is actually national parks. So that was really neat. And it's also a great ride out there.
Devil's Tower is also considered a national park. That's right. That's There's just a ton of stuff out
Some
there.
of them are state, some of them are national. But we're kind of putting national and parks all together.
So number 8 is just a beautiful part of the country. It's God's country. I mean, we like Texas a lot too, but I don't know, South Dakota just has something to offer that I can't say. I'm going to cry.
It's just priceless. You know, when you ride through there, every street you ride on is an adventure. We were up in Rapid City and we made a wrong turn and we thought, you know, we'll cut through this subdivision. Well, this subdivision ended up having all these curves in it. Ended up like, wow, should be a road that's put on the map. The people in the neighborhoods may not like it a lot. But I mean, it was a cut through that we did, and we actually took it a couple of times, and it was really great, you know, to check it all out. And it is. You go up there, you got Custard State Park, and to be within the bisons, that's just priceless. You know, just all the riding up there. You could just go there for 30 days and ride every day and never see it all. No. And it's the same thing going back to the UTV. You know, I just could imagine that if you could get out there in the UTVs and get up into that country, you know, you see all the animals, which we did. We seen coming back from Hewlett, it was in the evening, about 8 o'clock. We probably seen from Hewlett to the 90. If we didn't see 1,000 deer, we seen 2,000 deer.
That's a lot.
They were just lined up on the fields. You'd see one there, and next thing you know, you've seen 50 of them or 100 of them there. Drive a little farther, and there'd be another big bunch. And one of them came across in front of us. But I mean, it was just, you know, that country up there. It's like you say, it's God's country.
It's priceless.
So the next thing we've got is the great rides. We just kind of touched that a little bit on this last part, but I mean, there is no place. I don't care what anybody says. So we've rode a lot of places since we've been riding. You know, we've rode up and down California, and there's a section there of California that I say is priceless. You know, we haven't got up to Washington and Oregon yet, but I mean, we've rode in Florida, we've rode in Texas, and we've rode in a lot of other states. We never did the Tail of the Dragon, but I mean, that's just one road. But I mean, when you get up there to the Black Hills, every road is priceless. And depending on who you're with and who you're riding with, and you know, everybody talks about the Needles and Iron Mountain, and Iron Mountain is my favorite. But I mean, you really can't enjoy that if you're the rider, you're driving the bike. You can't really be looking around, and you're going to kill yourself or kill somebody else because you're constantly, you know, you got to keep track. And next year when we're doing those rides, we're going to pull over at every one of those turnouts and take some pictures and do some video from that, because that's what's priceless, is to get there and see all the stuff that's there and the beauty that's there. So that's the other thing, is I don't think there's anywhere else in the United States that has that much riding in one location.
And number 10, of course, is all of you guys. It was just meeting people. It was people that we met at the campground, people we met at the bars, people we met on Main Street, and then all of our followers and subscribers. We got to meet a lot of you guys too. I know we didn't get to meet all of you. I wish we could, maybe next year. But it's just so great to hear where people are from, what they think, what's going on in the world. I mean, they should have called this the Freedom Fest this year, because it was just like normal. It wasn't all the craziness that was going on in the world. It was just everybody there to have a good time, to meet up with people, and just live their lives.
It was. You didn't get anybody really arguing with people or fighting with people. You know, we didn't see any fights. You know, just like the police and stuff, we talked to some of them, and, you know, they really didn't have a lot of issues. Dude, if you're drunk and you're stumbling out there on the bike, or you ran the stop sign, you got pulled over and you got the DUI because you pulled over, because you ran that stop sign, that's your fault. You know, the people got to think about that. I don't think the police this year went out and looked for people like in previous years and things like that. You know, I didn't even see, just like us, we talked about that in another video, we seen more cars pulled over in the Black Hills than we seen motorcycles. Just meeting all the people, because I've never done this before with the videos and going out and just talking to people, but it is priceless, and they're really good people. So we want to wrap up the video here. If there's any of the top 10, remember, these are our top 10. They may not be yours, may not be your wife's, may not be your buddies, but they're ours. If you've got some that you'd like to add, put them down here in the comments. Tell us which ones that you think, what brings you to Sturgis? What is it? You know, I've talked to a couple people that are on our YouTube comments that's been going for 30 years. And that's what they said. They even found some good things in our videos that they hadn't really done. You know, so that's kind of neat for us. And I know there's a lot of stuff that we've never done and we haven't seen, and we may never be able to get everything covered.
We'll have to share info. What we haven't seen and you have, let us know.
Yeah.
And vice versa. What things that we find, we'll let you guys know.
So put it down there in the comments. Let us know. Don't forget, we're heading out for the rest of our rallies for this in October. We're now actually planning possibly another rally in November down in Mexico. Going to cross over the border. That one we're probably going to ride to. And not taking the trailer or the truck or anything else, or the dog or anybody, just us two. Riding our bikes down and getting into there and see what's going on. Just for the fact of trying to get across the border and all the insurance I have to carry, easier just to cover the bike and be done with it. So that's a possibility. We just got a phone call today about somebody that'll put us up while we're down there. So that may happen. We'll let you know a little bit sooner.
September 28th, we're hitting the road.
So on September 28th, we're going to be hitting the road. So we're coming out here. This is going to be Friday's video, so you'll be seeing this on Friday. That next week we're hitting the road. So we'll be heading out to start out with. We're going to be going to Adam Sandoval's K River Campground from the 1st through the 4th, which we're leaving on the 28th of September. You know, from there we're going to be going right over to Arizona Bike Week. We're going to be there. We arrive. I'm not sure what day we arrive, but we leave on that Sunday of the rally. We're going to be heading out, heading down to Daytona for Biketoberfest. We'll be down there. And I think we'll make it through there the last day. And then I think I've got 1 or 2 days that we get to Panama City. And to let everybody know, make sure you keep following us. Make sure you're subscribing, you know, because without you guys, we ain't nobody.
We wouldn't have anything to do.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to leave you with this.
So we hope you enjoyed our top 10 of reasons we like Sturgis. Please share with your family and friends. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.
See you on the road.